You are welcome to Correro, the platform where we dig deep into the heart of Nigerians' politics, policies, and people. My name is Godwin Sunday, and today our focus turns to one of the most talked about demographics in Nigeria, the youth. Nigerians' young population makes up to about 60% of the nation's total, yet their voices often seem lost in the noise of political power play. From unemployment and economic hardship to power representation and lack of mentorship, the challenges facing young Nigerians continue to grow. And while many youths are politically aware, the question remains, are they truly politically involved? Well, two different angles to the conversation. With the 2027 elections fast approaching, it's becoming even more worrisome and critical to examine how Nigerian youth can move from being mere spectators to becoming major players in shaping the nation's identity. What policies are in place to empower them? Uh, what structures can bridge the gap between political promises and real opportunities? Well, joining me tonight to unpack this issue is a the president of National Youth Council, and of course, we will delve into the conversation. He will be helping us to explore the realities, challenges, and the political future of Nigerian youth. Don't go anywhere. When we return, we'll dive straight into the conversation. Well, this is Correro. Stay with us. Welcome back. Well, with me in the studio right now is Ambassador Babangida Onisi Isa, who is the president of a Nigerian Youth Council. Of course, we are looking at issues that borders on Nigerian youth, the challenges and the road ahead politically. But then it's a delight to have you join us, President. Well, Your Excellency, let's even begin the conversation by first looking at the generality of Nigerian youth involvement in politics. In various states, we just saw what played out in a number of states. Osun State is just by the corner. FCT also is just looking at around the corner. But then the forms tend to be acquired by a lot of elderly. Is it that Nigerian youth are shy from even engaging in the political front?
Not at all, but I just felt maybe Nigerian youth lack more of orientation, right? And that is one of the goals we want to achieve as far as the Youth Council, National Youth Council of Nigeria is concerned. This topic is elaborate, but in order to just talk about it briefly, if you look at, I'll take two, that is His Excellency President Ahmed Bola Tinubu as an example, and I'll take Auguste as an example where I come from, because you can confirm I'm a complete youth, very agile, very strong, you understand? Now, if you look in the time past, right, president in the time past, if you look at the number of youth being engaged as far as the National Executive Council is concerned, you know that there is serious improvement as far as this present dispensation is concerned. You know, you are talking about politics and youth inclusiveness in politics. There's no way you would take out what I'm trying to say, because I am of practical, you know, I'm a practical person than theory, you understand? And now come to Kogi State. His Excellency, former Governor Alhaji Adoza Bello, bettered youth inclusiveness in politics and women inclusiveness in politics. His cabinet are majorly over 75% youths. The female side, they are majorly over 50% youths inclusiveness. And that is because when he emerged as governor, he was less than 40 years old. So most definitely he was informed. And that alone gave him that leverage to, you know, include more youths to his cabinet. And we're talking about His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, where he comes on board. That is why I sincerely want to, you know, at this juncture, also appreciate the King of Boys, Sheyi Tinubu, who has in his own, you know, might, gave a lot of youths, you know, that chance to give their own potential. You understand? So the tenure of His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu has included more youth to his government than any other that we've seen before. And we coming on board, we also are trying our best to, inform the generality of youth as far as Nigeria is concerned that there is no limit to aspiration. You must not have all or acquire all the money before you can aspire to become something. If we are not chasing the elders at all, because without the old brain, there is no way the new brain can function well. That is just a simple truth. You must learn from somebody who has been there. So, in a nutshell, it is not going to be a problem because if you look at it in the next few 1-2 elections, I want to bet you that the youth will definitely take over, and I know very well that the youth will take over by the special grace of God.
All right, Your Excellency. So if I get you correctly, you're saying at this point that come 2026, 2027, we'll have more youth participation.
More youth, of course.
But then let's take this conversation even back to the regional levels, where even in the 6 geopolitical zones, we'll see Nigerian youth that are more comfortable with getting political appointments other than contesting elections. We've also seen Nigerian youth staying more comfortable in supporting the elderly to go into elective position, even though let's take it from the regional. Of course, you are speaking for Nigerian youth in general.
Of course.
So let's get you assess it from the regional level.
Yeah, from the regional, you felt maybe a lot of youth are taking more of appointments.
SA positions, PA positions. That's what we've seen.
In life, the life is of stages. I don't know if you understand. If you don't have political experience, you don't just go into it and start contesting because you want to contest.
No, I'm asking that to ask the guarantee that we're going to see a large number of youth participate in the politics.
Okay, this is where I emanated my punch from. Right. If you look at it presently, I just said there are a lot of youths in government as far as this Nigeria is concerned presently. And I'm not saying they are occupying any lofty positions. I'm only saying, just like you rightly said, appointments, those are the things that will give you the political experience, the leadership acumen to want to go further. I don't know if you understand. So we now are complementing such, youths, and also are trying to do everything humanly possible. We've been partnering with a lot of NGOs that are into leadership, training and what have you. So we are enrolling a lot of youths in this very aspect of making sure that in 2027, it is my intention, it is my responsibility to also make sure that all the political parties, there is a benchmark for them by making sure that youths, by the special grace of God, 2027 are more of aspiring than, our fathers. And that does not mean that maybe in all the sphere of all the states in Nigeria, there is no elder that will definitely aspire. We are not saying so, but gradually, it's a gradual process. And that is why I say in the next 1-2 election, 1 tenure, 2 tenure, you will see the number of youths that will occupy this political space by the grace of God.
All right, let's talk about the old issues around Nigerian youths. Of course, when a lot of people heard that we are having you on the show, we've had a lot of questions coming in. But then let's just look at the issue around the Japa syndrome, which we understand a lot of youths right now are leaving the country. I know you are big on that conversation in order to help Nigerian youths to remain in the country and build the country. But then, what does this say about Nigerian right now when we have this number of young people that are leaving the country? And how best can we address this concern?
Thank you very much. This is a very, I wouldn't want to call it a very tough question, but a very sincere question because it's affecting the growth of our country, right? And when you said Japa, you saw me smiling. That is because it is something we intend to go into, in fact, in less than a week.
And now, I've been following your activity. I know you're big on that conversation. That's why I'm trying to
I am partnering with an NGO called Destiny to address this Japa syndrome of a teen. If we all are leaving the country, then whom are we leaving it for? As youths, we need to bring our population is enough to harness it to grow our economy. Then if you are going into a man's land where you feel there are greener pasture there, then what happens to your own? I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. Like, we are trying our best to discourage anything that had to do with young chaps leaving the country, because the onus lies on us to take care of what is remain of our country as it is at this moment. And I want to tell you sincerely that if you are looking at country under this particular regime, Nigeria is finding their feet back economically. You understand? And that is why we feel it is very paramount that we keep on pushing, we keep on preaching, we keep on, giving orientation to our teeming youths who had that intention of leaving the country. I am not having the intention of leaving for a day. Not that I don't have maybe the avenue, the medium. I've had plenty of time to leave the country. But I keep on saying it to myself, if I should leave and everybody leaves, who will be taking care of the country? So we are the next generational leader. We are the next leader as far as this Nigeria is concerned. And where are you running to if you don't understand the system? If you don't understand the country you left behind? So at this junction, I'll tell all the Nigerian youths watching me at this moment that Japan is the least of the problem we have Nigeria is facing. Which we are in it, we should continue to be in it. We'll address it together, we'll find a solution together. There is no problem without solution.
Well, Your Excellency, looking at the fact that we still have a high rising figures when it has to do with unemployment on a yearly basis, a lot of people say Nigeria is tilting towards the direction of more underdevelopment. Placing this side by side, the percentage of youth that are being affected right now, it's skyrocketing.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is one of the reasons why a lot of youth are giving up even in the Nigerian vision. But looking at all of this and the private sector relegating youth to a very large extent, the point of inconsequential, can we say as a country we are ready to have that conversation of addressing practically concerns of youth in the country?
Most definitely we are. Because the best way we can do this is for all the youth to come together, unite together, and we'll talk in one voice. I am representing the entire youth of the country, right? I understand this, the need for unemployment. I understand exactly what the youth of the country are facing. And we are just 1 month in office, and I can tell you categorically, we have achieved, I'm not saying we have achieved everything we wanted, but I want to tell you we are addressing serious issues on our table. And all these things you are rolling out, all these topics you are doing are things we are interested in, are things we are finding a solution to it as we speak currently. So the issue of unemployment is not a one-man business. Civil servant is not just the only job a Nigerian can do. So we are trying to diversify the mindset of the teeming youth of our country to, entrepreneur, we are to skill acquisition. A lot of skill acquisition. We have tech, we have some other things. We are in a global world where computer is more of everything as we speak. So we are trying to make sure as we can to engage people in computer technology. AI is almost taking everything as we speak. So we have professionals who are trying to, build a lot of youth in that line. Currently, my director of media is doing research on seeing how we can remove over at least 100,000 youths by 2026 from the streets using the media alone. If you look at all those boys doing skit today, they are in their house doing, all they needed is think and come up with something very interesting. So that's to show you they are not working for monthly pay. It is not about civil servant. It's all about creativity. And as youth, we have that creativity to change things, to turn the economy of the country around. So we will continue to intimate people, because if you don't have this information, there's no way you have the mindset of going to another thing. So the responsibility bestowed on us is to keep updating the Nigerian youth of what to do. We'll continue to update them on the necessary thing, on what is happening as far as the country is concerned and the world at large is concerned, the demands.
All right, Your Excellency, let's talk about insecurity in the country. Yeah. But since you've mentioned entrepreneur and also technology,
agriculture is there.
Let's start from the technology part of it, because you've mentioned that line.
Okay.
Of course, a lot of youth that are big also on technology A lot of Nigerian youth are very innovative and enterprising when it has to do with technological space.
Yeah.
We've seen what is playing out. A lot of Nigerians youth also have been tagged to be internet fraudsters. But then, not all Nigerian youths are into all of this. We have some tech guys
a
into
lot
Forex.
of them.
We have
a lot of them.
So we have all of this. But then, when we see these youths move about with their laptops in various geopolitical zones in Nigeria, they're still being branded by security agencies as being fraudsters. How best are you even speaking to this issue in order to address this concern for Nigerian youths to be bold and proud to walk with his gadgets on the street without fear or favor from security operatives?
Now, you know, everybody, if like I'm holding my phone currently, if I'm innocent as I think I am, I don't need to be scared of a policeman coming to search me. I've been asked, where is your phone? I've been asked by a policeman, where is your phone? I gave it to him, I opened it, he searched and sees nothing. He allowed me to go. It's as simple as that. But of course, we have a situation, we've seen a situation across the country where a policeman will intentionally want to harass you, either because of your outing. You know, when we talk about fashion, a lot of people are into different kind of, you know, fashion sense. You understand? Some people can be stopped because of their fashion sense. Because, you know, the dressing of a Yahoo person is different from the way I'm looking currently. You understand? So some persons don't dress responsibly. But in this very light, I think the Nigerian youths need to understand, need to stand on their right to making sure that if you are innocent, as far as fraud is concerned, you don't need to be scared of anybody at all. If a policeman or whoever that is searching you, and you know within yourself that you are innocent, all you needed to do is to prove yourself, and it ends there. I can guarantee you that any forceman or any policeman who is whose duty is to, even if it is EFCC, because I think that is their jurisdiction, even if EFCC come to search you and you know you are innocent, turn on your camera almost immediately and allow him to touch you. And that way, you will have a document of what's happening. If they're harassing you, or he lets you go, he or she lets you go. The most important thing, I think, what Nigerian youth need to understand is their rights as a person. You cannot, because somebody is doing fraud, you want to come and intimidate me using the same gadgets. No. If you see fraud, you know those that are doing fraud. And that is just the simple truth. If you're a fraudster, you know. And they know. But because of, you know, those some policemen are fond of, you know, chicken chain, trying to just attack you and give you something you are not, attach a name you are not, just to get something from you. So when it gets to that, turn on your phone. That is exactly what has been helping quite a lot of youths these days. They turn on their camera to record, and of course, you see they fight justice for themselves. And as I'm telling you right now, we are going to address something like this by visiting the Inspector General of Police in very, very soon. You understand? We will visit all the, both DSS, we will visit all the force agencies. There are a lot of things we need to table before them that are affecting the youth directly or indirectly. So they will also give signals out there to stop. There are some persons that are even searching, and their responsibility is not to search. And you see them searching. I've confronted one, I've confronted more than one ever since I came into power, or into office rather. So I'm not taking it lightly within myself when I see I address it. But I believe together we can address this. Even the media houses, even you can address it also.
Well, you know, when we have a voice like you, we have you speak for the entire Nigerian youth. Yeah. I can only do my bidding, but you are the forefront of championing that cause.
Of course, when you see, you tell me, and I'll take it up.
Are looking up to you to be their mouthpiece. But when you say they should turn on their cameras in the face of an intimidating situation, is it visible? That's on one hand.
It's visible.
On the other hand, when Nigerian youth get to that point where they are told to even open their phones, submit their gadgets, and be subjected to all form of discriminatory treatment, is this a right step in the right direction? And if no, what practical steps should Nigerian youth approach as against what you've said? Because you know, like I do, that when a police officer, you've been confronted by a police officer on the road, the tendency for you to bring out your phone and start taking shots, it's very slim. Some of them will even smash your phone on the ground, and so, of course they've been able to squash that evidence. But looking at this, are there practical demonstration and steps that you want to even talk to the Nigerian youth in order to ameliorate this situation?
You see, as Nigerian youth, there are ways we approach things, and I believe there is no sane police officer that will ask you to give me your phone to search if you're a fraudster, right? And you give him or her, and that person search, I want to incriminate you by fire, by force. It's not possible. There is no way you add anything into your phone because you're standing right in front of him or her, right? So I believe one of the major things some policemen face when it comes to, trying to take out their duties also from the youth is when they say, give me, you start arguing. You see some of the youth want to fight, and which is very, very inappropriate. But as a law-abiding citizen of the country, as a youth who understand the laws, as youth who know exactly what he wants, as youth who understand what it is to obey the law, what you need to do, let me see your gadget. You give him, you are there and then, you hand over to him. But I'm not saying you should be out of sight, right? You give it to him, obey. Because I've tested it. I've obeyed policemen not once, not twice, not 3 times. And there was no time they harassed me. But when you want to argue, start telling them their job. Maybe you are trying to say, nothing is in my... Why are you defending yourself? Just give that policeman your phone.
All right.
So in the face of, you're saying something like maybe you can, there's no way as a good intelligence youth, there's no way you just take phone cameras. Even an ordinary person, civilian, you cannot just take camera and start, pointing at somebody. No. There are a lot of ways, there are not major ways you can use to shoot somebody, as in camera somebody, and he wouldn't know. All those ones we are capturing in the internet, it's not that they faced the policeman.
We think you have to do a special training for Nigerian youth in order to help them learn these other modern techniques to it. But then we'll try our best. Let's look at your programs and your plans for the Nigerian youth in terms of security concern. We understand that in Benue State, in Plateau State, Kwara State, it's been bedeviled by a lot of insecurity. Are there plans in place to address all of this concern, at least in your tenure in office?
Of course there are.
All right.
Because one of the major things, we cannot just jump into security, we cannot just jump into addressing security because I'm the president of the youth. No, there are steps you take. I am not a professional when it comes to that, but those that are professionals, we will engage them. That is why I told you initially that I will be interfacing with the force agencies across board. We'll have seminars. We'll have seminars where the youth will be present, question and answer sessions.
So is this time bound?
Yeah, very soon, I think, but not this year. You understand? Not this year as we speak, but at least early next year, because program need time to, process. By January, we should be having something like that, because what we are doing currently is an emergency approach. Without sending letter to security agencies, we are going there to ask questions, interface with the person in charge of whichever quarter. Then we'll let them know exactly what brought us to them or what the visit is all about. Because, like, for example, there are issue of security threat recently that we've heard. All I needed to do was to get into the force command. And I made my assertion known about it. And before you know it, sincerely, they took action, and the commander actually sent more than 3-4 trucks to that area. And today, very largely, nothing happened at the end of the day. So we all as citizens who also have to put our ears on ground wherever there is threat of security breach. We try as much as we can to also report to the necessary or the nearest police station, if possible.
Well, Your Excellency, I'm asking all of this because a lot of Nigerians have speculated that prior to your administration, the Nigerian Youth Council has been like a toothless bulldog when it has to do with Nigerian youth.
Yeah.
It hardly represents the average Nigerian youth, the interest of Nigerian youth, and we've seen this play out. So first, we're trying to build confidence even from your own administration, knowing fully well that you will be able to perform or underperform or overperform. We can't rate you right now because it's too early, in the day to start rating you.
Just 30 days in office.
Yeah, so that's why we're trying to find out all of this from you. But then looking at all of these policies by the Nigerian Youth Council, are there policies that you hope to continue as a legacy from a previous administration?
There are a lot of policies we're trying to...
that are not known by Nigerians?
Completely not known by Nigerians. You see, by next week or towards ending of the month, we'll be done with our agendas and the policy we intend to bring into Youth Council. There are committee handling it for now. So I would not want to delve more on it. Maybe by the time I come, when next I come to your TV station, I will bring it, we'll read it together.
We would have loved to have that breaking news too.
Exactly.
Because Nigerians are right now craving to know what your policies, your plans are, even in the coming days.
Don't worry, when next I come, you will get to know it. Yeah. But the truth of the matter is, we are here, myself, my next, the National Executive Council, we are here to make that changes. What we are currently doing is to sanitize the organization. And the Minister of Youth, Olawande Wisdom, is doing perfectly well in harnessing the both potential, that's working relationship. So I believe to a very large extent the Youth Council will be the voice of the youth once again.
All right. Again, there's also this angle to the story. There's also this speculation that youth organizations are usually occupied by people that belong to cultism. And as such, if you don't belong, you cannot be in the youth forum. How correct is this assertion?
Not all youth organizations.
Well, it is an assertion. That's why we have you
to
speak.
Of course, I cannot really guarantee such assertion that it is true or not, but I believe it is not. I wouldn't want to totally, take it out that it's not true, but not all organizations that have come, have actually served on or have seen. I've not seen any like that.
All right. So this conversation came from NANS, where we've seen quite a lot of shootings when it has to do with NANS elections. And when it has to do with NANS elections, as if it is a breakfast of gunshots. Yeah, so that's why it's a youth organization. So that's why I'm bringing it. I believe the Nigerian Youth Council is the umbrella body that coordinates, and you, peradventure, we can say you are the father of all Nigerian youth, and the Minister of Youth is the great-grandfather of the Olawande is the great-grandfather of Nigerian youth. That's why I'm bringing this to you to help us clear the air on this speculation. How correct is it to say that majority of Nigerian youth organizations are being handled by members of fraternity?
No, I will object to that. That not all the organizations are being handled, because you just are specific about NANS.
It's just on one side where we used to hear shootings.
That's the only one.
During the election.
You are using NANS to compare.
Let's not go to other ones, but then...
No, there is no other one.
You are the father of all youth.
Yes, that's why
I'm trying to the father to speak to us.
I am firm to tell you that there is no other one. But when you talk about NANS, NANS is so deep and vast that, if you are not into it, you will not understand the system itself. I've served under the umbrella of NANS in Kogi State chapter, but there was no shooting. I'm not a cultist. You understand? You see, cultist is not written on the face. A lot of people tend to come, aspire and all that. And on the day of election, you try as much as you can to bring your supporters to the election ground. Nobody is guaranteed, or nobody is allowed to bring weapons. But the truth of the matter is, even the electoral committee are not even aware of anybody coming in with weapons. At the end of the day, they give power to whoever that wins that election before you confirm that, oh, this person is a cultist or this is a cultist. But of course, it can be sanitized, sincerely can be sanitized. And that will be in conjunction between we, the Youth Council, and the NANS cadres. We can talk it out, because the NANS president, the NANS executive knows those that are coming to contest, and they know who and who is who or what. So if we want to, tackle it, it can be tackled. But remember that cultists is not just for the young chaps. There are a lot of people who are ancestors already in cultism that are recruiting other young chaps too. So you can see that sometimes to address something, you need to go to the roots. And going to the root, it will not take you just within a day. Rome is not built in a day, so you cannot guarantee doing it within a twinkle of an eye. So it takes processes, sincerity of purpose to address things.
All right. Your Excellency, when the people emerge as leaders in various youth organizations, they tend not to want to hand over power to other people. They tend to remain there, and we preach the message of transgenerational wealth. Again, we've seen something that have played out in Nigerian body politics, and that issue is the fact that most Nigerian youth organizations, the leaders, come into the organizations, they stay a while. Then in a short while, they become millionaires and billionaires in that same space. Can we say that the Nigerian youth organizations are money-making machines or money-attracting vehicles that to empower people in general?
You see, there are a lot of persons. As a leader, you have your principle of operation. You are there because you have intention to do whatever you want to come and do. That is the thing of the mind, right? For example, what I tell you is what you should know. But what I do, until I do it, you wouldn't know. So I think to a very large extent, I would want to say youth groups are money-making machine. You understand? It depends on the intention. And I can tell you that even our politicians are using youth group. They will engage them to their, to their taste. And they will engage that particular platform for their bidding. So, and I saw they will pay them. You understand? But the truth of the matter is not youth council anymore. As far as I'm concerned, I am here to protect the interests of the Nigerian youths, to be the voice the Nigerian youth have been yearning for. That's genuine voice. And that is exactly what I'm going to do. And in order to do that, I'm not saying I'm fighting any government. I'm not fighting any government. There's no way I will be violence, because violence has never for 1 second, protest has never for 1 second solved any solution. As far as Nigeria is concerned, we dialogue. When we need something as youth, we go to the government, we dialogue. We tell them the reason why this is necessary. You put it before them. We are engaging the youth already. And most definitely, currently I'm working on a database where all Nigerian youths who have to register with their profession, either your profession, if you're an artisan, you register. If you're a graduate, you put your CVs, everything there. So one by one, we'll continue to pick, because there's no way you say, this is my brother. You can't even, recognize, you can't even say, this is your brother when it comes to database collection. So we are trying to do everything humanly possible by the special grace of God to see that a lot of issues are being, addressed. But, you cannot address almost everything at the same time. But anything that are of importance need a serious emergency approach. And that is exactly what we are doing currently. The database will take millions of Nigerian youth, and that will be a bargaining point for us by the special grace of God. And, addressing your question, not all youth organizations are money-making machine.
All right, interesting. Hearing that from the father of all youth in Nigeria, who are by, I believe that the grandfather of all Nigerian youth also is also nodding his head to that assertion. But then, just as a legacy project, so what then are we looking at to be your legacy project?
That is why I said I will keep on telling you.
Well, we are, our ears are right now itching to hear the legacy projects.
That is
because
why
we want to see
projects.
We want to see projects that will start rolling out. But then, as a means of even talking about legacy projects, one thing that we've seen that have played out among the Nigerian youth is a disconnect between the National Youth Council and the average Nigerian youth in the rural communities. Are there plans to address all of these concerns? Well,
you are trying to eat deep into me to say something out from my project.
Well, who am I? A fellow in the house of Nigerian youth, talking to the father of Nigerian youth.
No, you're trying to push me to the world, and you are trying your best, though, and you've already pushed me to the wall rather. You see, when I said I want to be the genuine voice of the Nigerian youth, I want to protect the interests of the Nigerian youth, I'm not talking about the average Nigerians alone. I'm talking about those in critical rural areas, the indigent youths. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. The vulnerable youths, the youths that their voice are not heard for a very long time. And that is why I am from the streets. I came out from the streets. I'm not born with a silver spoon. So I understand.
So you picked one while growing up?
While we are trying to pick one, we still remember exactly where we come from. You understand? We know exactly what we passed through to get to where we are. And that is why we must also tell those that are behind us that, of course, the road is tough, the road is rough, but with persistence and perseverance, consistency, you definitely get to your dreamland. You understand? What they need is a word of encouragement. What they need is a support. Some persons are there who only need a scholarship, right? From primary school, you see how bright that person is. We should be able to do it as the National Youth Council of Nigeria. I am doing it already. I'm currently doing. I know how many persons I'm sponsoring, and nobody will hear it from me. But for the sake of those who are listening, because I believe whatever we discuss here, one or two youths, it might touch your heart and feel, oh, if this guy can do it without making noise, I also can do it. You understand? I'm sponsoring more than 15 persons currently in this secondary school. And I'm telling you, without missing word, that I'm sponsoring about 4 persons at the higher institution. If I don't tell you, you wouldn't know. But this platform has availed me more opportunity to sponsor thousands. And going forward, we are going to unveil. That is what I tell you about what we are trying to unveil. My legacies are going to be unveiled. And when we are unveiling it, there are things we need to, there are funds we'll use that major to take in. And taking it in, we are going down to the downtrodden to do the needful with that resources by the special grace of God. It's something you are going to see practical. It's not something maybe, it's not an audio kind of programs. I don't deal with that. Anybody who understands my antecedent will know that I'm just a man with few words, but with plenty actions. So now media now they carry me talk too much.
Well, that's why we call it the father of Nigerian youth, of course. Yeah. But then, as you were talking, a lot of Nigerians in diaspora are saying you've not you've not even tried to even talk about them. Is it that they are abandoned in your own administration?
No, not at all. Your question did not go to diaspora.
So let's talk about Nigerians in diaspora. There are also plans for them to accommodate Nigerians youth in diaspora.
During my aspiration, these are one thing I actually point out. It was not constitutional, but we try as much as we can as a management. I voiced it out to the stakeholders that if we want to address the issues of Nigerian youths in diaspora, there is need for a representative over there. And sincerely, they saw reasons with it and they created that position. And today I can tell you that Collins Idahosa is the representative of the Youth Council in diaspora, the vice president of the Youth Council diaspora. And I'm sure I'm in talk with him virtually every day in video call. We are arranging a kind of programs. These are also captured in our policies that we needed to unveil soon. So it is captured, and we need to. There are plenty problems, even those that are in overseas facing, the Nigerian youth in overseas facing. Currently, I cannot recall the country, but I want to assure you that the school had to chase the Nigerian students, and they were seeking for help from, within the country they left. You understand? So, and within the short period of time, I think 72 hours later, help came, and they addressed it. So these are more of the things. Aside from the schooling section, we have quite a lot of issues. The issue of bullying, you know, and some other things that are happening overseas. So we do definitely address that by the special grace of
So
God.
Nigerians in diaspora, youth should be rest assured
the
that your
100%
administration got them in mind.
completely.
All right.
And that is the first step we just did,
Well,
by giving them a representative.
Well, you've told us you don't want to talk about your administration, but then...
No, I said when next I come.
You've started unveiling these things, but
Yes.
no challenge. Probably, but lastly, before I let you go,
Thank you very
finally,
much.
let's talk about your message. What message do you have for young Nigerians, youth especially, who have lost faith in the system and no longer believe that their voice matters in Nigeria?
I want to tell the young Nigerians that they should keep their spirits up. They should be rest assured that the voice they have been yearning for, that genuine voice they've been yearning for, is here. What we need is to be united as ever to make sure that we, you know, project the interests of the Nigerian youths. They should just calm down. We are doing everything humanly possible to protect the interests of the common Nigerian youth. And I can assure you by the special grace of God that within the shortest period of time, you'll see us moving into actions instead of, you know, mere talking. And I want to tell them that there is hope, and there is hope by the special grace of God when everything begins.
Well, I've been speaking with Ambassador Babangida ISAH, and he is the president of Nigerian Youth Council. We've been talking about a lot of issues that borders on Nigerian youth. But Your Excellency, I want to say thank you so much for finding out time to be with us here on Korero.
Thank you very much. It's always my pleasure to talk about anything that had to do with my compatriots.
Of course, we are still looking forward to bringing you back here to come talk about the visions, the goals and the plans.
Exactly.
And now we can also begin, because as from today, Nigerian youth are looking up to you. And we are looking at your vision, we're looking at your plans, we're looking at your policies, and also your reforms within the Nigerian Youth Council. We owe you by your word even from today.
Of course.
But I want to say thank you so much for finding out time.
Thank you very much.
All right, viewers, this is how far we can go today on the show. Don't forget that you can follow us across all our social media handle currently showing on your screen. And you can also download the Rapid TV app from your Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. My name is Godwin Sunday. Always remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Do enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye for now.